There's a Batman and Circuit Girl.
That is one way to generate a new Pythagorean triple, is to expand the Q to its next possible value, which is essentially the same as adding 2 to your A value. Okay, so you add 2 to your A value, which gives you a whole new Q, which you then tear apart and redistribute here and here to make your new C value, and then you subtract 1 to make your new B value. Now I've cheated here, and the way in which I've cheated is that I've ignored this thickness. Okay, that thickness doesn't have to be 1. I'm going to call it N. Let me do the same process now, only instead of doing the 3, 4, 5, instead of starting with a 3, 4, 5 square, I'm going to start with a 4, 3, 5 square. So I'm just turning the thing upside down. We'll have a slightly different look, and you'll see what I mean. Doing the same thing again. My new A is 4. My new B is 3. My new C, and my C is 5. Okay? Now, starting with that, we'll do the same trick that we did before. Our Q value here, which is that intersection of our A square and our B square, is once again 4 little squares. So here's our Q. I'm going to expand it out to the next possible useful Q, which is add 2 to it. I'm going to take our A, I'm going to build it out to 6 in order to give us a nice Q value here, which is what we did. Is the next Q that's going to work is going to be the next even one after 2. So after 2, making the 2 into a 3 doesn't work. We get an odd value. We can't redistribute it. Building it out to 4, yeah, that works. We can split that into 2. And what that essentially means, once again, is adding 2 onto our previous A value. So our new A value is not 4, but 6. So our new A is 6. Our new Q, once again, is the same. It's 16. Here's our Q. And we're going to split our Q up. But notice now that in order to build the Q out, we've got 2 layers. Our N has factored in, see? So what's happened now is that if we just did what we did before and lay 8 out, and we dig that chunk out, which is Q, we tear it in 2, and we just lay it out. If we were to lay it out flat like we did before, we get this little jaggy here, okay? And we wouldn't be able to fit our B square in, because we wouldn't have the right shape hole. We'd have this little jaggy jag, and it'd be ugly. So what we're looking for is to fit our B in here. In order to do it, we have to leave a nice square shaped hole for it here. In order to do that, we have to respect this thickness N. So what I'm doing is we're going to tear Q into 2 parts like we always do, but this time we're going to lay them out at a thickness of N. So instead of laying out 8 flat out, we're going to lay down 4 too high. So we're going to take our 8 and put them in like that. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do the same thing over here. So we've dug out a chunk of 16. We split it into 2 parts. We've taken out our Q. We've torn it into 2 bits. And we've created a new sort of form for creating our next Pythagorean triple. So we know that A is going to be 6. We know that our C is going to be, that's right, it's the area of Q, which is Q squared, torn in half, 2, divided by n, which is that thickness. So that's how we get 6 plus 4. So our new C value, so it's our A value is 10, or our A value is 6, C value is 10, because this is C. And our B value, last time I said it was C minus 1. Well, I was cheating. It's really C minus N. So B is your C value minus N. See? C minus N gives you your B. And so you get A equals 6, C equals 10, B equals 8. 6, 8, 10. That's the first way to generate more Pythagorean triples. The next step would be to take your new cube and add 2 more to it. Just like we did before. That brings you out to your next possible cube, and it's got to give you your next shape in this direction. And in order to build Q out by 2, you're going to add 2 to your A value. Okay? So that's one way to expand Pythagorean triples, is by doing this over and over again, and that gives you a new shape of a Pythagorean triple. But if you just start with your original shape, you get the second and final way to generate Pythagorean triples, which is just take a shape that you know works and chop it up.